Hey there, welcome back. I am Jenny Hendricks. Thanks so much for joining me. Today, we are going to talk about voting. Welcome back. I am Jenny Hendricks. Thanks for joining me. We are going to talk about voting today. Why are we talking about voting on a real estate channel? Well, because there's a lot that is impacting the world of real estate right now with how people are voting, who is being voted into office, and I want to draw those correlations for you and encourage you to be educated and get out and vote. So let's dive in. You know, I think it's easy to feel like our vote doesn't make a difference. It's easy to get frustrated by the dysfunction that is so obvious at the federal level. But if you ask anyone elected locally or even at the state level, your voice and your vote is louder and more important at the local level. There are federal taxes that we pay without even having really any influence on the way those funds are spent. But local and state taxes and the public entities and projects that they fund can be incredibly impacted by who is in office. And sometimes it's only a difference of a few votes that makes the difference. And that can really change the trajectory of a community. So let's talk about some of the issues that are in front of us and how it's correlated with real estate and why it's so important to do a little bit of research on these topics, and so you know who's a great candidate to actually be in office. This area obviously is growing rapidly. We are projected to probably double our population. I've heard estimates in 20 years, I've heard estimates in 25 years, but that is the reality that is in front of us. So it's not if we're going to grow, it is that we're growing, and how do we accommodate and manage that growth? Infrastructure is obviously a really big thing when you are growing like we are in this area. So we need to make sure that the folks that we are electing to city council, the mayor, county commission, all of these local races, those are the people that are going to have an impact on local roads, on sewer, on water distribution. All of these systems need to be planned for the growth that is coming at us. You know, something else that is really important, especially in rural areas like this, is broadband. That is becoming as important to people as the other infrastructure like roads and water and sewer. With the number of people who are working from home and having that being a really viable option, having adequate internet access is a really, really big deal. Public safety. Do we have adequate police protection, fire protection? What does that look like? Are we budgeting enough for those things that you just don't really think about? But if you're moving to an area, or if you're trying to sell a home in an area, these are questions that people want answers to. Another issue that, of course, we talk about all the time here in this area is water. It's a big deal, and it has huge implications on our ability to grow and adequately manage that growth. So we need to make sure that we are electing local folks who have the ability to plan, fund, and complete water retention, water conservation, water reduction projects. We need people who can secure new sources of water. And this is sometimes underrated, but water in the state of Utah is not just a local issue. There are a lot of players involved, so we've got to have someone who can really have a great relationship with our state and federal partners, because they are invested and involved in water issues and solving those issues for our community. Also need someone who has the ability to have conversations with our great agricultural people. Agriculture uses nearly 80% of the water in this area. And so any solution that is going to be put on the table by necessity, must have agricultural folks included in that decision-making process and at the table when those solutions are being discussed. Let's talk about economics. Of course, everybody wants to live in an area where it is economically viable and a great place to live. Voting for people who have the goal of bringing in businesses that are a good fit for the area, hopefully businesses that are paying higher wages. We need to get that wage scale up, and really having business-friendly policies so that those businesses who want to come here find it an attractive place to be relative to all of the other places that they could go. Now let's talk about quality of life. This is a big deal. This is a big reason why people are moving to this area, because of our amazing quality of life. We are famous for recreation. We have a great downtown. We have parks and open spaces and trails, and we've got to have local elected people who recognize the importance of that tourism on our local economy, and also that our local folks like to get out and enjoy those places too, because of course the tourists go where the locals go. So having people in office who recognize how important that quality of life is to our growth, to our economy, really important to elect people who have a really good understanding of how that all works together. Now, something that is absolutely directly related to real estate and the costs of real estate in this area, there is a bond that is going to be on the ballot. It's a hefty price tag, and that bond is funded by property taxes. So it is really imperative that as a resident, as a voter, as someone potentially moving to the area, that you understand what does that bond fund, why is it necessary, and how that might impact your costs of being a homeowner. There's lots and lots of really important reasons to vote. Ballots are coming out soon. I hope that you will take some time, research these issues. They're so important, and I'm happy to be a resource. I'm happy to talk about that anytime you would like. I am Jenny Hendricks. I appreciate you being here. We'll see you soon.